What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So we're going to start this one off with an update from none other than 4 times Classic Physique Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead. Chris took to his Instagram with quite a lengthy post where he talks about how the start of his Olympia prep has been really one of the most difficult starts to a prep that he's ever done. And he also goes on to talk about some of his personal struggles with self-belief, being discouraged, and how he takes great pride in really getting up and getting the work done despite his personal challenges. But the big thing in this post is here where Chris says, but it's also not as simple as never quitting. There will be a time when the difficult but the right choice will be to hang it up. And he also says here, that time may be soon, it may be far, I honestly don't know. All I know is that it is not right now. So Chris has always been pretty open about his personal struggles, both professionally and personally, and we have heard him talk about retirement before, almost within the same context. You know, I don't know when, but just not right now, maybe sooner than later. But this post does seem to have an undertone of Chris having a bit more serious consideration toward retirement. Now, I don't think he's going to retire before he attempts to defend his title and win that 5th Classic Physique Championship, but based on this post, I really won't be surprised if he retires really right then and there after they hand him the trophy. Chris Bumstead very quickly became the standard for Classic Physique after he won his first title back in 2019, and everyone has been battling for second place since then. So if Chris does decide to retire this year, will we see that standard change? That's one of the questions here, because although Classic is a newer division relatively speaking, it's because of that fact that we have seen that standard change. You know, look at Breon coming in being the 2 times champion before Chris came in and win, and he had a very different looking physique. So it would be very interesting to see where the division does go when Chris does decide to retire, which based on what we're seeing here, could very well be sooner than later. Now, as standards do change in each division over time, I think there's an opportunity here for Wesley Vissers to come in and really set a new standard for Classic Physique, and that opportunity could be right now. Wesley did announce that he'll be competing in 2 shows before the Olympia, then he'll do the Olympia, assuming he qualifies, and a show after the Olympia as well. And one of those shows is going to be the Dubai Pro, which is an absolutely stacked lineup. It came out yesterday, actually. You have guys like Terrence Ruffin, Mike Sommerfeld, Branch Chen, you've got Madelman in there, and the winner of this show will most definitely be the competitor that comes into the Olympia with the expectation of really pushing Ramon Dino and Urs Kalasinski for a top spot, you know, those top 3, top 4 spots. And Wesley could definitely be a contender to take home that win in Dubai. Now, there are those who say that Wesley is not the embodiment of today's Classic Physique division, and that he is more the embodiment of the golden era physiques. But I mean, guys, did Classic not come into creation in order to represent what bodybuilding had presumably lost from the golden era? And is Wesley Vissers not the best representation of those physiques? Now, I think in previous years he did have some work to do in the conditioning department and in the size department, especially in the legs, but I think he's on track to have that perfect balance, and you know, I do think that if Wesley comes in at his best and he has made improvements, that he could very well be the future of the Classic Physique division. So you guys let me know if you think Wesley Vissers should be the standard for Classic Physique in the comments section below, because I really think he's in a league just all of his own. Okay, so next up, Wesley Vissers isn't the only one doing multiple shows before the Olympia. Roman Fritz has announced that even though he qualified for the Olympia by winning the Big Man Pro, he still plans on competing in 2 more shows before the Olympia. Roman is throwing his hat in the ring for both the upcoming Italy Pro, and he'll also be doing the European Pro Championships in Alicante, Spain the weekend after. And you guys, this honestly, it deserves a round of applause. I absolutely love to see competitors get out there and compete like this, and I think more competitors should be like this. Roman has always been one to compete in multiple shows every year. He did like 5 shows in 2022. He's already done 3 shows this year, and yes, despite being qualified for the Olympia, he's getting back on stage 2 more times. And that does change the dynamic, especially for the top 5 going into the Italy Pro. Roman will definitely be one of the most conditioned, if not the most conditioned competitor on that stage. So, where does that land Roman in this Italy lineup? You guys let me know down below. I'll have my full breakdown coming out soon. Alright, so next up, Regan Grimes has given us some more insight on the progress that he's made over the last couple of years, and in this post, Regan says that back in 2021, he was actually weighing in around 245 pounds on stage, and that this time around, in this picture, he was about 274 after a high carb day, so he expects to be roughly about 265 pounds on stage in Italy, for a grand total of 20 pounds gained of lean tissue, which is absolutely incredible. And the best part is, he still has room to grow. So I wanted to highlight this going into the Italy Pro because there can really be zero question at this point. Regan Grimes will be showing up in Italy, not only at his best, but by a significant margin, assuming that he's going to nail his peak. He's currently on the road to Italy to do the final touches for peak week, and I'll keep you guys posted on his progress because I think this is going to send shockwaves through the bodybuilding world. Okay, so last up, Michal Krizo made a public appearance and had a bit of a seminar at the fitness center Olympia in Slovakia, and we've seen Krizo do a number of public appearances and guest postings this year. It's good to see guys at the top level of the sport really giving back to the fans, especially in a smaller setting like this. But I think it works out well. For Krizo, it's close to home, it doesn't disrupt his Olympia prep, and it's these kinds of appearances that inspires the future generation of bodybuilders. And you know, it's just amazing to see a guy like Krizo standing next to, average-sized gym goers. You really get a gauge on how big this guy really is. It's unbelievable how big this guy really is. So hats off to Michal Krizo on this one. It's great to see him making a public appearance again. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.